You're sending tons of emails and you want to make sure those emails land in your leads inbox so you actually get those replies, those meetings, and those sales. And this is the ultimate checklist that we've written down, technical and copywriting, that will get you that meeting. So let's go through some of those very quickly. Now, one of the first things you need to make sure is you don't pump up the first email with a lot of links. And with links also come images, because images usually get picked up by spam trigger filters, and that's exactly not what you want to have happen to your emails. Now, people usually go ahead and pump up maybe 3 or 4 links. There's one sector of this which is copywriting, but also technical. On a copywriting perspective, you want to make sure that your lead has only one call to action. If you put multiple links over there, they don't know where they're meant to click on. Maybe you want to show them a case study, then you want to make them book a meeting. You don't want to send them to 2 separate places because the attention span nowadays is very, very low. So just have one link, and most likely that's going to be the link to your actual web page itself. The third point that I want to mention is keeping the number of copy, the words in your copy extremely low. And when I say extremely low, I don't mean 5 or 10. You can do that, but try and make sure they're not more than 150 words. Most people don't have the attention span to read emails more than that, and you want to put that as common practice, right? The other thing you want to focus on is the follow-ups. A lot of people have sequencers like SmartLead or whatever it might be to go ahead and create sequences for their emails to follow up in a situation the lead doesn't reply. Don't just go ahead and copy the same email from the first email to send that through, because clearly that offer did not work for them. We know cold email is shock. We know cold email needs to grab their attention. If the first email didn't grab their attention, most likely if you repeat it, they might not. So switch up the copy and maybe even do something simple, just asking them to follow up. All right, we're going to skip through the other things, but I do want to mention one last thing over here is making sure that you don't ask for a sale on the first email. A lot of people look at some course or go see something on Twitter and assume that you can get the sale without even speaking to the client. The principle of the emails or the cold emails is to get meetings. The principle of the meeting is to then get the actual sale. And then the principle of the sale is to make sure you get the revenue. Don't confuse one to the other, right? It's similar to getting a cover letter and a resume. A resume doesn't get you the job, the interview does. All right, sweet. Now we go into the technical checklist. Now these are things that you want to make sure that you do to ensure that you have deliverability on your back, right? You want to make sure it's taking care for you and it's actually helping you boost your emails to your leads inbox. Complementary domains basically means, let's say I own smartly.ai. I don't want to be sending emails from smartly.ai's core domain, because in a situation something happens, I'm sending a lot of emails and some of those emails bounce, that will drop my entire domain's email reputation. Instead, you want to have complementary domains, maybe get SmartLead, try SmartLead, use SmartLead, it's SmartLead. And then 301 redirect all of those into the main website, which is smartly.ai. A common mistake a lot of people make is they think using alias accounts actually helps with warming up your email accounts. Now, firstly, warming up is the principle of programmatically having a software like SmartLead or so on and so forth send emails between a network of emails to ensure that it feels natural and it just builds up the reputation. Because you don't want to just buy a domain, create an email account, and send thousands of emails to first day. That is a recipe to get yourself blocked. Where aliases come in is just as a nice decoration on top of your email account in case you're maintaining 15 or 16 different email accounts. But you cannot warm up an alias account because that's actually just a wrapping, but not a core email account in itself, right? One thing you can do definitely is something called Spintex. What Spintex does, and there's actually another video, I'll link it somewhere over here for you to look at. What Spintex does is basically helps create variations in your copy. You're not talking about A/B testing, but we're actually talking about variations in your copy. Those variations play an important role because when you're sending hundreds and thousands of emails that look and feel the same, email service providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Zoho, etc. start flagging these emails saying it looks like clearly it's spam. But these variations help you create different versions of that same message, but not actually change the offer in itself. So that's how it works. In this case, hi, hello, hey, what's up? You're not actually a different A/B tested version. It's the same thing, but just with synonyms, right? Now let's just switch this part over here. The other points I want to bring up for you is DKIM, DMARC, and SPF. There's a very important article that we've written over here for you to go and check out that explains what these 3 things are. But in short, all these things do is effectively help authenticate your email. Because I can go ahead and set up a SendGrid account or an account on Amazon and send emails on behalf of Vaibhav at smartly.ai. And you might get that email from someone else sending that. But how do email service providers, that means how does your email account know that's actually come from me and not from someone else that's spoofing it? These mechanisms, DKIM, SPF, and DMARC, effectively help manage the authentication of an email that has actually come from my own email account. So you can read into this over here. I'll also link this in the description below. All right. Now, some basic housekeeping rules in terms of ensuring this checklist works really well for you is you don't want to send more than 50 emails per day per email account. Now, then you might say, all right, I want to do cold email and I want to blast emails out. Then what's the next goal over here? Perfectly fine. That's why you can go ahead and add, it's called horizontal expansion or horizontally scaling, is you can buy maybe 50 or 40 email accounts through Zoho, Gmail, whatever it might be, add them into Smart Lead. You're not paying anything extra. It's pretty much just, one-off subscription, and then use that account, which is a Smart Lead account with 50 email accounts, and then scale, because 15 to 50, guess what? It's a pretty powerful number over there for you. I think it's 2,500 if my math is right. So what this does is it makes sure that your emails are well behaved, your reputation is maintained, but it also sustains over a really long period. So you don't need to keep recycling through burned domains for yourself. All right. Now, here's an important one. I prefer not to use links, but depending on your GDPR compliance situation, you can figure out what works best for you. This is not advice on a legal perspective, but if you can get away by not using links depending upon the region you are, what I would recommend instead is asking your customers to reply with a not interested or stop messaging me, because that does two things. One, you can easily go ahead and add those leads into an unsubscribe list. Smartly does that for you. And second thing is you're almost forcing a reply, and that reply then also acts as a benefit for you with respect to boosting up your deliverability, because email service providers will think that, okay, even though it's a rejection, it's a healthy win for you because you actually get something positive out of it, right? Right. Now I'm going to go to this last point over here, and then I'll let you actually check out everything else in this particular blog that covers all the things you need to do when you set up your cold email. And the last point I want to mention is setting up your your custom domain tracking. Now, the way and the reason why this is important is simple. Let's say you put a link, or let's say you add an image. Those links and images, usually with most email service providers, are going to be wrapped in that email service provider's domain name. That might be Smart Lead, or it might be whatever software you're using. And that's not wrong, right? That's great and perfectly fine. But you can imagine that this software is going to be used by thousands of people, and that link might be shared among thousands of people. Now, among those thousands of people, you might expect 99% are good, but that 1% might be bad actors. To protect yourself from those edge cases, what custom domain tracking does, it basically masks your links or your images, whatever, with your own domain. You might have a reputed domain as well. So therefore, you're not depending upon a third-party software provider like ours. Even though we do heaps of checks to ensure reputation is maintained, you want to ensure that the onus is on you. And therefore, you want to boost your deliverability by wrapping those images and those links that you have with your own domain. Now, it might feel a little technical, but there's a full guide, and it's super, super simple. There's no extra work for you to do. You don't need to do any wrapping. That's done by Smart Lead itself, but it just helps you set a mechanism to protect your reputation. All right, and you can look at the rest of these things. These are very valuable things that you can do to help you boost your deliverability. If you got any questions, pop them in the comment section below. But I thank you for being all the way here. And if you like this, there's heaps of more content coming. Like and subscribe. It really helps me and the team and motivates us to go ahead and push more and more content for you in the cold emailing and sales space. Thank you and have a great day.